Hi, I'm Natalie Crabtree of the Crabtree Arts Collective, and I have the great honor and privilege of being a pattern designer, a sample maker, a pattern writer, and a ghostwriter in the quilting industry.
Okay, so everyone's on social media. Can you tell us your top 3 Instagram accounts that inspire you, who you like to follow because it's fun, anything?
Yeah, so I like couldn't possibly choose like narrow down the quilting Instagram account. So I'm totally going to go off topic here. I love following like treasure hunters and like people that like find different like artifacts and like historical artifacts, coins, anything like that, like in rivers, like in bottle dumps, anything like that. I love following those people. So I follow London Mudlark.
Hi.
And she goes along the Tam and like finds all of these like British artifacts and different pieces of history, and sometimes even like Roman artifacts. It's really fascinating. And then, she'll post like a video of her finding it and then cleaning it, and then maybe like a picture, a nice stylized picture of it, and post the history of it. So I love history. So that fascinates me. So I follow London Mudlark. Flo Finds, she's another like treasure hunter, I guess.
That's cool.
And My Ordinary Treasure. So those are 3 that I'm just like, I always like run into my husband. I'm like, look at what they found. This is so amazing. I would love to like go out for an excursion with them one day. Yeah. And then there's a couple like old historic home ones that I follow. Like they like post these old historic homes for sale like throughout Europe. So Your Cheap Dream Home and Cheap Italian Dream Homes, they're fascinating. Like there's some like with these beautiful like frescoes on the walls and cobblestone like fireplaces and stuff. It's just like fascinating. It's like, oh, I want to retire there.
Do any of the accounts like inspire your quilt designs? Have you ever pulled any images that were like, oh, I really love this castle, or these coins are very interesting, I love the color palette from this, or what have you?
No, well, some of the like some of the mudlarking people, they find like different bottle shapes and different like collars of bottle shapes. That is like super inspiring. But I do get really inspired by architecture and tile. Like there's so many beautiful tile designs, and particularly in these like old homes with this like vintage tile. They're the most beautiful geometric designs. And so yeah, I mean, it's very inspiring, like in my business life and then in my personal life too. So I just love it. Fascinating.
That's wonderful. Also, another fun question that's not sewing related. If you have to take 5 albums to listen to for the rest of your life, which ones would they be?
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if I have 5, but
That's okay.
3 that really come to mind are Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
Could listen to that all day, every day. It calms me down. It makes me like intensely focused. That I just love. I love Beyonce's Lemonade. She is like such a like lyrical genius. So I love that she tells this big story throughout the whole album, and like it's just like brilliant. And then for like just a intensely musically talented person, Adele 25, like that album is so stunningly beautiful. I could listen to her all day, every day.
Great. Do you have any hobbies outside of quilting that we can talk about?
Yeah, so I would say that my number 1 hobby, although I don't get to do it super often, would be travel.
Yeah.
My husband and I were just like really passionate about traveling and adventure and like seeking out different cultural experiences. That is something that obviously has been on hold for the past almost 2 years, but it has just been so wonderful to be able to experience. And I just encourage everyone to travel, travel, travel. I love to read, although I don't get a lot of time to read.
Mhm.
So, um, that is something that I wish I had more time for. But then, like, when I do, sometimes it's like late at night and then I'm, falling asleep with the book on my chest after a long day. So, yeah.
We'll do another non-quilty related, but we always are playing with color. So what is your favorite color?
Okay, so I am really drawn to cool tones,
Mhm.
blues and greens. I love like a good like olive green. Any color of blue would be it, I'm just like super drawn to. Light, dark, any kind of blue. That is those are my colors for sure.
So if you guys aren't aware, we have several of Natalie's quilt designs available on our website on keepsakequilting.com. Right now, the latest quilt kit that we have is Stairway to the Stars, featuring fabric by Shannon Christensen of Wyndham Fabrics. It's a beautiful quilt, super easy to put together. And Natalie, are you able to talk a little bit more about that quilt design and how you came up with it?
Yeah. Yeah, so I designed Stairway to the Stars. It's very, very simple, kind of like offset vertical columns
Mhm.
with simple sawtooth stars and just plain squares. So my goal with this pattern was to make something super beginner friendly, very approachable. It's a weekend project. And but also like for more advanced quilters, it would be like an amazing gift, to somebody that you love. An amazing donation quilt or charity quilt. But also if there's prints in your stash that you don't want to cut up, they're really beautiful florals. This is like a good pattern for that because it features 6-inch finished squares. So with Shannon's line, actually, that was why I wanted to use Shannon's line for this because she has these beautiful florals that, I mean, who would want to cut that up small? So this
Exactly.
is in some of those alternate blocks right
Mhm.
there. And then I've got this darker floral that is
Wow.
also used as well. So this was just like the perfect fabric line for this because it's a quilt project that you can zone out, Netflix and quilt. You don't have to think about it too much, but it would just be a stunning piece because it really lets the fabrics shine.
That's wonderful. So as we know, you design for multiple designers. She also has her own commercial pattern line that you guys should definitely check out. We do carry some of them here on our website. Hey, Natalie. So another fun question. If you could have anybody over for dinner, dead or alive, top 5 people, who would they be?
Okay, so I put a lot of thought into this one. I didn't I wanted to really dive deep into my likes and my passions to like figure out a good answer to this question. So I have a few people. So number one, just backstory is I love to hear stories. I ever since I was little, I would ask like my mom, my grandma, anybody older than me with a lot of life experience, I would ask them to tell me, old stories. So I think I would invite Paul McCartney to dinner so that I could hear lots of stories.
Yeah, that's a great
uh,
choice.
and just like sit there like, oh my gosh, like fascinated by like what he's done and who he's met and who he's played with. Like that is so brilliant. So that's one. I would invite Mozart to dinner and study his just like eccentric personality. And my husband and I have this like burning question. If anybody's watched the movie Amadeus, we're just really wondering like if it was an exaggeration on what happened with Salieri, if it was based in truth, or if
Mhm.
it was just basically hearsay in a fictional story. So I would invite him because he's just like brilliant.
Yeah.
And like a musical genius. I would maybe invite Leonardo da Vinci,
Mhm.
um, for obvious reasons, and totally brilliant and a genius. and just listen to how he creates and invents and imagines like inventions and everything. And then I would maybe invite Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass, just to be totally inspired by their heroism, and they're just so courageous, and just to hear their stories and hear what they went through and how they helped so many people.
Yeah, no, that's a great dinner table. I want to be the sixth guest.
Yeah,
if I can.
Yeah.
There we go.
I know, like, isn't that an amazing all-star lineup? Like
That really is.
I really thought about that. I don't know. I'd probably have to have like 5 separate dinners because, I really would want to hone in on that person.
Exactly.
Really.
I know it would be a very long dinner too. So we'd have to have multiple courses, right? And dessert, for sure.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you, Natalie.